Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Congratulations to Chair Shirley Agrupis for that very long, comprehensive, and detailed and action-oriented report. Not just report to Congress, but report to the nation, right? And all in 1 year. Congratulations. Ganyan talaga ang mga Ilocana. Hindi naman ibig sabihin ng mga Negrense, hindi ha, Chair Kiko? Okay. So, I speak to you in very interesting times. That's all I'm going to say. But I would like to say that advocacy, policies, and the work we do goes beyond titles, goes beyond designations and chairmanships, because there's so much work to do that we have to remain united in our vision and our mission to get it done. And so I join our chair and all of you, the commissioners, and all of those present here today and online, in resolving political differences and shutting out all political noise and working for the betterment of our young learners and the Filipino people. So once again, I greet Dr. Shirley Agrupis. I'd like to greet Secretary Kiko Benitez, and of course my counterpart, Kong Jude Asidre, and our friends from the Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador Sin Sarim of Cambodia, Ambassador Mohammed Sarwar Mahmood of Bangladesh. I'd like to name our commissioners: Commissioner Rikmar Aquino, Commissioner Michelle Aguilar-Ong, Commissioner Mirna Malyari, Commissioner Desiderio Apag, and a good friend and the President of the National Association of State Universities and Colleges, Dr. Tirso Ronquillo, all the presidents and representatives of all SUCs, all 113 of you, and all the presidents and representatives of the local government colleges as well, and private HEIs, Dr. Carol Marquis of EdCom, and all education champions. Warmest greetings. For 32 years, CHED has demonstrated that the advancement in higher education comes from sustained cooperation across all sectors: government, academia, industry, communities, and development partners. Each play a role in building a system that responds to national needs. The theme of this year's celebration, Strategic Partnership Convergence, reflects how coordinated efforts can translate plans into outcomes that matter for our Filipino learners. CHED has played a vital role in expanding access to quality education, strengthening academic excellence, advancing research and innovation, preparing our institutions for the demands of a rapidly changing world. And under the leadership of Chair Shirley Agrupis, CHED continues to champion reforms that make Philippine higher education more responsive, inclusive, and globally competitive. This celebration today recognizes the work of our educators, of our researchers, of administrators, and students whose efforts continue to shape our country's future. The launch of the Higher Education Achieve Strategic Plan, the revised CHED Merit Scholarship Program, and Project Pag-ibig point to a clear direction that places our learners at the center of development and expands opportunities for every Filipino. Partnerships across government agencies, higher education institutions, and development partners continue to open pathways for innovation and mobility. These efforts help connect education with employment, research with industry, and policy with measurable outcomes. As the former chair of the Senate Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education, I have consistently championed reforms that place learners at the center of our higher education agenda. We advanced landmark measures such as the Unified Student Financial Assistance System for Tertiary Education Act, the No Permit, No Exam Prohibition Act, the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. As the then chairperson, almost 10 years ago, of the Senate Committee on Finance, I worked to make higher education more accessible to Filipino students. And this is probably an item not well known to many, even before the passage of the Free College Education Law. I, as chairperson then, 10 years ago, supported the realignment of 8 billion pesos to CHED under the 2017 General Appropriations Act, proving that free college education is possible if we choose to prioritize it. This was 1 year before the law was passed. It is proof that even if the experts say walang pondo, hindi kaya, there is no law yet, we were able to fund it. And this allocation enabled around 800,000 students in 112 state universities and colleges to pursue their degrees without paying tuition and miscellaneous fees. However, the real challenge lies not in proving that it can be done, but in ensuring it is appropriately funded and sustained. Last year, we convened a consultative meeting with our state universities and colleges. I believe it was a stormy day that time, where the Senate was closed because there was a typhoon, but we held the meeting outside of the Senate. And it was revealed that funding for the Free College Education Act has consistently fallen short. Doon namin natuklasan na bagamat may batas ay hindi pinupondohan ng buo ng DBM. Allocations have been based on outdated enrollment figures rather than projected student numbers, leading to persistent deficits. We would not allow this. And that is why we had a meeting and we asked CHED, and the lower house had also taken its initiative, and it was finalized in the Senate. That is why the presence of the DBM here today is urgent, important, so that we are assured that what we discovered last year and found a cure for will actually be implemented mid-year this year. Kasi po, nasabihin ko yung totoo, ang nangyayari, bagamat maganda ang linalagay sa GAA at pinapagdebatahan ng maraming buwan, pag nandyan na sa GAA, minsan, hindi ko linalahat, ay hindi pa rin pinupondohan ng gobyerno. Hindi po dapat nangyayari yon. Ginagawa ang batas para magbigyan ng kalutasan ang mga problema, hindi lamang sa edukasyon, sa lahat ng sektor. We should not give our people false hopes by debating on it live on Facebook and having press releases and having the hard copy and the fine print only to discover that 6 months later or 1 year later, people are struggling because the agencies of government did not fund it, did not release it. For whatever reason, that must not happen. And I will go next time, perhaps, to deal with the unfunded loss in the billions, perhaps by now trillions of pesos. What is the use of us debating your budgets kung pinahihirapan ang bawat programa ng SUC at college, kung hindi pinopondohan ang mga batang nag-aantay or kung popondohan man ay hindi rinirelease ang pondo. Wag po natin payagan yan. You have a right to demand that what we put in our laws will be funded and is given to you on time. While the state universities and colleges submit updated enrollment data, computations have often relied on historical figures, sometimes 2 or 3 years old, leaving actual needs unmet. So to bridge this gap, we allocated a total of 11.8 billion, 7.8 billion through CHED's Higher Education Development Fund. And thank you to Chair Agrupis for immediately understanding the need and providing that counterpart funding from the CHED Fund. And 4 billion pesos jointly, the House and the Senate enacted in the 2026 GAA. I am told by Kong Asidre and the others I spoke with before the program that still hindi pa raw na ilalabas ang pondo at ang mga SUCs ay nag-aantay pa rin. Huwag po natin payagan ito. Mid-year na po. Most recently, as chairperson of the Bicameral Conference Committee, I led the Senate contingent in reconciling and advancing the measure that further strengthens and expands the implementation of the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, reaffirming our commitment to making quality tertiary education more accessible and responsive to the needs of our Filipino learners. We also pursued key structural reforms through proposed measures in the current Congress, including the Higher Education Development and Innovation Act, the State Universities and Colleges Governance Act, the Local Universities and Colleges Governance Act, and the Presidential Merit Scholarship Program Act. These measures, among many, aim to expand access, improve accountability, and support a higher education system that delivers results. As your co-chairperson of the Second Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM-2, unless I have been unseated or ousted as well, I'm not certain, I remain committed to pursuing evidence-based reforms that will help address long-standing challenges and ensure a stronger future for Philippine education. I likewise authored the law, of course, extending the life of EDCOM-2 to sustain its important work. As your steadfast partner in the Senate, I reaffirm my support for policies and investments that empower our learners, that strengthen institutions and advance national development. So once again, congratulations to CHED on its 32nd anniversary. Mabuhay ang Commission on Higher Education, mabuhay ang kabataang Pilipino, isang lunti ang Pilipinas sa ating lahat.